What just happened? Absolutely nothing! For over an hour! Resident Evil Afterlife.
Ow! Hey guys, so this is our review for Resident Evil Afterlife, and quite possibly the most pointless and the most boring one out of all of the videos.
This is our review for 2 scenes. 2 scenes and a lot of nothing in between. So...
yeah, that's basically true.
What happened in this movie?
So, alright, so, the first one takes up the beginning of the film. I literally was breaking it down, the first scene.
Yeah.
So the first scene is one of the scenes you actually kind of care about, not so much for actually caring about it, just for like, oh, well, this will keep me, like, you know, it's like, it's feeding your brain with something. Because it's when all the clone Alices take on
the Tokyo Umbrella.
Yeah, but the gem of it is we get introduced to the new and improved Wesker, done by a Canadian actor. What's his name again?
Sean Roberts.
Sean Roberts is
hero.
He's a fucking king. He is the reason why we've been watching the movies after 3. Yeah. You guys know what we're going to talk about eventually, but he is the fucking god of these movies.
He seems like the only person who's actually enjoying himself on screen, so it's great.
He's just... well, right when we introduced to him, like, in the last one, like, the guy who was playing him before had kind of, like, a few little quirky, like, okay, that was a little cheesy moments. He was, like I said, a fine cheese. This guy, like, slaps you in the face with the biggest fucking sample of ham. You're, like, dying of ham, but you love it. He's the best person in the movie because everyone's so fucking deadpanned that he actually adds so much. He's, like, making up for everyone's lifelessness in this movie. And he's probably the biggest one who's closest to character.
Mm-hmm. The issue with this film, I think, was that it was never planned to exist.
No.
I think. So they pretty much had this wild ending in Resident Evil 3 where there's all these Alice clones. So the first thing they have to do in this movie is
kill them all!
What do we do with all these clones? Let's just blow them up and... have them, I don't know, do ninjutsu moves.
Yeah.
All these,
oh man.
Helmet dudes.
Oh, and this movie. If you didn't remember this movie was 3D, it reminds you a lot. I think you and I were just yelling, "Whoa, 3D!"
Every time there was a moment where bullets or something in slow mo, and there's a lot of slow mo.
Oh my god! I think someone said that if you cut up all the slow motion parts and made them
like
normal
regular speed,
the movie would be like less than 40 minutes long.
Oh,
like remember?
I would have preferred.
Well, there's a part when she's running around, when she's running in between all these zombies like this, and she fires the gun, and you see the bullet move, but she's still moving in slow motion, so technically she's moving as fast as the fucking bullet is.
It's so bad.
Obviously, the beginning is interesting. We see her lose her T-virus powers, which is an actual cellular shape of a T, which is so stupid.
It was pulpy, but, like, it kept your attention, at least.
Yeah.
And then...
nothing.
More than a third. It was like,
no,
honestly,
that was the first 10 minutes, and then from 10 minutes on to about an hour and 10 minutes, nothing happens.
They go to a prison, they somehow fly from Alaska to LA within a day, and using this dinky little, like, Japanese, like, fighter.
Oh, there was like a little personal plane, but yeah, no, they somehow scale this giant distance, and in the end, we kind of just watch them do nothing. Like, they're talking about getting on this Arcadia thing, which they find out is a boat. But even still, nothing happens. They're walking around the bit, like, they've got a lot of torches. They got a lot of torches.
They introduce a palette of characters very, very quickly, each with, like, 2 lines of dialogue to give you a hint at their personality, just to then kill them off.
Bald, basketball player, chick with boobs, douchebag producer, Asian dude, and Mexican dude.
Asian dude gets props for best death in the movie, I think.
Well, turning into, like, literally like he got cut through like a piece of butter.
He got mushed.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is Paul W.S. Anderson really wanted to put in elements of 5 into this game, Resident Evil 5, even if it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What did we say? That Resident Evil 5 had Chris Redfield punching a boulder and then defeating Wesker.
Wesker turned into a tentacle monster and died in a volcano, and that story made more sense sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that story more than this entire film.
Because this movie just has, like, from what we've had for the last 3 movies was normal zombie stuff. And then all of a sudden these zombies just start having their mouths open. We have a guy who has a giant axe for some reason.
Like,
Wesker is able to dodge bullets. No one who would watch or play the game of 5 would have absolutely no idea what the fuck is going on. And honestly, I would have loved to have been one of those people to watch it without having played 5 and be like, how is he dodging bullets? Why is this thing's mouth opening?
Where is this giant axe guy coming from?
Yeah, why is she shooting them with money? So 4 is probably the worst film, not only in terms of structure, it's so badly shot. It's all so obviously green screen. The lighting is atrocious. Yep. The color is just this dull gray.
It's just green screen the entire film.
The whole film is just a structural mess. It's not a mess. It's just bland.
It's really boring.
The color palette is the movie. There's nothing to it.
I would recommend to just watch like the opening scene and then like,
just
the finale with Wesker, and then on YouTube or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason why. I think you and I, when we first watched this movie, and I think that's all we would do at school, is we would just watch the scene over and over and over again. It's like, you should have brought more. Throws the sunglasses. Absolutely stupid, but it's so funny. I think I ripped a stitch. But no, like, honestly, if you wanted to watch this movie, if we were rating it just for that fight scene, just for all the scenes with Wesker in it, I would love it. I love the movie for all the scenes that Wesker is in.
This movie would get a 0 if it wasn't for those scenes.
Yeah, no,
I give a 1 for the salvation of those 2 parts.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same. I'm gonna give Resident Evil Afterlife a fucking 1 out of 7. It's a goddamn it's a failed Afterbirth. Because this movie should have been the fucking end of it, but obviously we keep going. But if anything, while 2 is terribly made, at least it's entertaining.
Yeah.
4 is entertaining for 2 scenes, but everything in the middle is pointless. And like what you said, this movie is the most unrewatchable one out of all of them, except for those 2 scenes.
A lot of these other movies are so bad they're good consistently, but this one it's just like... You just get bored. You can walk away and ignore half the movie. And it's okay.
Exactly. Like what? So. Well, fuck. Like the scene where she's fighting when Claire is fighting the giant axe guy. She's moving so slow. You could go to the bathroom and come back, and nothing would have happened.
Yep.
Like fuck. She blinks in slow motion.
That's not cool. Here's the thing. So in the video games, the premise is that with every new installment, the creatures get crazier, the virus gets crazier, and it makes sense when you see these like wild things start to appear. But in the universe of this film, it's pretty much just been zombies with the occasional super zombie or monster here and there. So when you start seeing like bullet dodging powers, like in the previous movie, psychic powers burning up all those crows in the sky. They made sense of how the psychic powers came in. This doesn't explain anything. Like somehow the virus has changed. It gets wild really quickly.
He literally threw out any sort of explanation of anything out the window. The only time he ever has time to explain anything is when Alice says, "My name's Alice. This is my story."
She didn't even. We know what the story is. We don't care.
And she didn't even like put much effort into it. She just said, virus got out and everyone died. Literal. That's what she said. And everyone died. Like, there's no effort in these. This is the worst one. If it didn't have with the Wesker scenes, I would say it's the worst one of all of them. I think it's in contention with 2 because 2 is a shit piece to watch.
It's a shit show, but
it has Wesker. But if it didn't have Wesker, no way. Yeah. So that's why we're kind of looking forward to 5 because Wesker is in it.
Happens.
Wesker is in it as President Wesker.
Oh god.
But the thing we're also really afraid of is that he's going to get killed off in the first 10 minutes
of the newest one.
Which if he does, I swear I'm going to be very close to walking out because he's the only reason why I want to watch that.
Anyway, you want to see Alice's story conclude?
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. Anyway, guys, Retribution is obviously coming up next, and then will be the final chapter. And Pedram has also given us the idea that we will actually review the animated ones. Which
I need a drink.
Alright, see you guys in a bit.